Hi.
Hi.
And hi, I'm Lizzie from Fangirl. It's a pleasure to talk to both of you.
You
Happy to be
too.
here.
I am the Vampire Academy generation. I read these books growing up. So this is very exciting to me. I just wanted to start there.
Great.
And there's a lot of vampire like books. There's a lot of vampire shows. Julie knows better than anyone. What do you think makes this one different? Because when I grew up, for me, it was based around a friendship, two women. And that was what drew me to it. But I don't know if you would agree or if there's something else in particular that drew you to this show, to this adaptation.
1,000%. This is a story centered entirely around the unbreakable bond between two female best friends, even as they are growing up in a society that might prefer to not let them be friends at all. And that is what really attracted us both so much when we read the books back in the beginning, and then as storytellers, going back to the source material as we were setting to adapt it. But one of the things that I always really loved about it was, as someone who fully appreciates the Buffy Angel, the Edward and Bella, the, self-referentially, the Elena and Stefan or Damon, never going to tell you which. What I liked about it is that this world also lets us live in the horror genre of vampires as well. We get those feral, id-driven, terrifying, monstrous, blood-sucking creatures that were sort of, the vampires of old before they became young, hot, and broody. And I like being able to do both because in Vampire Diaries, the vampires all ended up as heroes of their own story. No matter how evil they were at once, they ultimately all kind of had a nice, beautiful redemption arc. And being able to kind of tell emotionally grounded stories for these new vampires, but also those traditional, things that go bump in the night, scary things was a fun opportunity for me.
Yeah, and I think that friendship, like that story. I mean, we've been friends for almost 20 years, so I mean, we're. What do you do without your best girlfriend if you're a woman? Like, we all know how important those female friendships are. We also know how emotional they are, how committed they are, how loyal they can be. Mm-hmm. And then here's this one that's wonderful in all those ways, but also really real and grounded, and in some ways being challenged by the system that they're in. They got to fight for this friendship, and how are they going to do that? And in fighting for their friendship, in many ways, they're fighting to make a better society, which is also very timely right now. So I love that we were 100% in even terms of casting. We were like, if we don't get this casting right, then we don't have a show, because this is the heart of the show. And of course, we got really lucky, and we have a really great Rose and Lissa.
Yeah. And is the intention to sort of be able to tell more than one season of the story? Like, I would assume, because if you get into the Vampire Academy, you get into the later books, you can really go with Dimitri in particular. You can go into the dark side of, sort of, without spoilers for the books, sort of what happens there. And then you have another series of books, and you can get into Sydney and Adrian, and that's a different story. So yes. I see the smiles, and as a fan, I'm like, fingers crossed, we get all the stories.
Well, Julie likes to just do one and run away. She's not somebody to stay with a story for any length of time. So I'll try and convince her. And if we can get her to keep at it.
As long as it's going to be good. I mean, that is the beautiful thing, that we have 6 books plus these other characters, that spun off into their own series. There's so much story to tell just from what existed on the page, not to mention about the kind of stuff we want to make up for ourselves. So, there's some fun Easter eggs in this first season of things to come in future books that fans of the series will really enjoy.
Yeah.
I'm excited. And was there a particular scene from the books that you were like, oh, I'm just dying to see this on screen? I'm just dying to see them act out this scene.
I mean, the Lissa meeting Christian in the archives up in the church, like, that was something that I think we really wanted to make sure we got right, because it left such an impression on the page in the books. And so really wanting to let them have their meet cute, so to speak, in the right way. I am so excited for the day when we finally get to meet Adrian, because he made such a mark. His character's presence in those books was something pretty special. So
Yeah.
we look forward to that day when it comes.
I'm super excited for it, and I watched the first 2 episodes, and I think fans are just really gonna love it. Thank you so much for the time, and as a fan, like I think it's important for me to say it. It was great what I got to watch, and I'm looking forward to the rest.
Thank you. That's
Thank you. That's
wonderful.
awesome.
Thank you.